Battlers, I am back. Welcome to another episode of the United Podcast Match Rewind Edition. Well, when it comes to hard work, Battlers, and getting the job done right, none do it better than our great mates at A+ Contracting and Poly Welding. Just like our Newcastle Knights left it on the field for 40 minutes, they're not going to do that just for 40 minutes. They're going to get a whole 80, baby. A+ are going to bring that same level of dedication to the mining and civil projects industries. They are the experts you need for professional, for cost-effective, and for comprehensive contracting services. They do the hard work, Battlers, so you don't have to. Well, Battlers, here we are once more. Round 21. Can you believe it? Round 21 has come and gone, and the Newcastle Knights copped an absolute reality check from the Canberra Raiders. The final score being 44 points to 18. The most points we've conceded thus far in the 2025 season, with the Canberra Raiders securing their 9th straight victory. We were right in it, weren't we, at halftime, 18 all apiece, but the second half was a complete and utter total collapse, with the Canberra Raiders scoring 4 unanswered tries. Our 12th scoreless half for the 2025 season. Can you believe that? 12 unscored points in a half. Crazy. I tell you what, they didn't just beat us, they completely, utterly steamrolled us, and our dreams of playing finals football were completely dashed with the sound of full time at the end of that game. So, Battlers, big one, strap in there as we try and unbox that. Also on tonight's show, we'll be taking a look at your LGB Marine Titanium Forge Player of the Week. I'll be giving you my PayCat United Players of the Week. We'll be taking a couple of calls from the United hotlines. I'm pissed off, annoyed, and angry Battlers looking to get some stuff off their chest there. And I'll be answering your Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training burning questions. So, Battlers, sit back and get ready as we take a look at the Adam O'Brien ins and outs of last week's monumental loss to the Canberra Raiders at GIA Stadium. Let's go! All right. First things first this week. Now, the theme of the show tonight might be terrible performances. And I want to talk about more terrible performances. And I want to know if there's some way, somehow, because it has been a long season, Lou. It has been a long season. I've been up here talking about the Knights week in, week out, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a week. Justin Timberlake.
So fucking random.
Can I do a Justin Timberlake? Now, if you're sitting there linking and going, if you're sitting there just going, Link, what the fuck are you talking about? Justin Timberlake, if you haven't seen it, if you're not on TikTok, get on TikTok and look at Justin Timberlake's karaoke tour. The dude literally gets on stage, sings about 5 words, and he gets the crowd to do the rest of it while he just does some lame dance moves. I want to know, is there some way, Lou, somehow, maybe when weeks like this, when I really don't feel like talking about the Knights, I can say my piece and then chuck to the Battlers, and I can just sit there and do my moves and just, get an easy paycheck.
Doing a JT.
Doing a JT. It is, there was a chick from Romania. She absolutely delivered a scathing review, albeit it was very polite. I thought it was quite good. That, these people pay all this money and just get these absolute bum performances by these superstars that they revere. And what a reality check for us when you go see these people and they're real life human beings and they just suck as human beings. They just
Would you say that's worse than lip syncing?
I would say so, because at least I feel like lip syncing, you're at least putting in more effort. Like
some kind of performance.
They're going, you know what? I might have to sacrifice actually singing, but I'm going to dance my ass off. Where he just seems to be just doing fuck all of anything. I feel like that would be I want to know if there's a way maybe every now and then, if I don't feel like it, I can just sit back here. Maybe do I just get the hotline open and I can just sit back and just let a battler just literally rant for 10 minutes. I can take a 10-minute break.
A live hotline show.
That could be dangerous.
Yeah, that
could be very, very dangerous. We have to vet these calls sometimes because we don't want one to go through the keeper that might be a bit too spicy.
Don't want to be cancelled.
But yes, I'm still rattled. Talking about the crappy performers in life, I'm still rattled. Ozzy Osbourne, shout out to Ozzy. He was such a big influence on me as a young musician. Come up, I was very blessed to see him perform. He was last ever solo tour in Australia, Brisbane. I think it was the 30th of March 2008. Got to see him. Stark contrast. He the great Ozzy Osbourne put on a better performance in his last show at 76 years old, full of Parkinson's disease, sitting on his throne there, than JT's doing around the world at the moment.
And that's a performer.
Stark contrast. So it's
Yep.
still rattled me. That night, seriously,
You
when-
have been rattled.
it's been on. I don't think, honestly, I've ever had a celebrity death hit me this hard.
Yep.
Every day I'm listening to him. The first night I was down here for hours just watching old footage of Ozzy, old concert footage. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It's just not that you don't know what it's got till it's gone, because we all knew what Ozzy was, but yeah, fuck, there'll never be another one like him. And I was just so stoked that I at least got to see him once live in the flesh perform. So, but yes, you let me know. Give me ideas, battlers, if there's a way that your boy can just come into this half-assed once and do a JT. And get you guys to talk the script out while I sit here and do absolutely nothing.
Do a drinking session, although you'd have to go through a fair few.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it would be this year. Boy, oh boy. I kind of look like an NSYNC member with the headset on, don't I? Got a kind of an NSYNC vibe about me.
It's gonna be me.
It's gonna be me. All right. Well, that's anyways, first things first, brought to you by Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts, which is Newcastle's Late Macquarie's and the Hunters' highest rated mixed martial arts gym with more than 350 Google 5-star reviews. Guarantee you Justin Timberlake don't have that kind of numbers. Beginners are welcome and encouraged into their safe, inclusive, and most importantly, battlers, fun training center. Unlike Justin Timberlake, head coach Jess Landry's experience includes being directly trained by UFC veterans as well as under the wrestling coach for the Sydney Roosters. Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts is centrally located in Cardiff, right beside the Cardiff train station, offering day and night classes for kids, teens, and adults, including Muay Thai kickboxing, gi and no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and mixed martial arts. So make sure you, straight after this show, literally seconds after leaving the show, you're going to go head to their website at newcastlemma.com.au. All right, battlers, if you're enjoying the show and you're watching the live stream, pound the hell out of that like button. Pretend that you just come out of the gym at Newcastle MMA and you're just smashing that like button, all right? Give it a big old smash. Wherever you're wasting your time on social media, I can guarantee you we are there. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. X, Facebook, Insta, YouTube, we're there, baby. We're there. So make sure you follow us there and help us grow our numbers. It really, really does go a long way. If you're listening to this after the fact on Spotify and you're still down in the dumps, give your boy at least a 5-star review. It'll make you feel better. Takes mere seconds out of your day. Give us a 5-star review. If you haven't done so already, here's another Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts. Kick up the date to get that done. All right. It'll really, really help your boy out. Well, look, no night of news this week. No night of news. We are just literally going to be diving headfirst into this game. There's no procrastinating on this show. This is it. Let's just sink our teeth into the game that was, with the Newcastle Knights heading down to GIO Stadium to take on the Canberra Raiders. Shout out to all the battlers who joined me. I was all alone in the shed in the bar this week.
Yeah,
And,
I apologize. I was supposed to get back, but didn't get back in time.
Felt a bit weird just talking to myself. But anyways, shout out to all the battlers who did tune in. Hope the
I could say something to you about talking to yourself, but
yeah, I do often talk to myself. But yeah, huge shout out. It was an emotional ride, wasn't it? The first 40 minutes were great. Second 40 minutes, not so much. There were long periods of silence there as I was just aimlessly in despair. I was very pissed off. I was very annoyed. You know, everyone knows I'm a very glass half full, rose-colored glasses kind of guy. I don't know if they've got that in me this week. I don't know if it's got that in me this week. But look, let's take a look at it. Let's kick it right off. The first half, as I said before, 18 apiece. It was one of those games where we're looking at it. The Raiders would score a try, we would reply with a try. The Raiders scored a try, we would score a try. The Raiders got a late try, and bang, our boy Fletcher Hunt sticks the arm up. One Jamal Fogarty with love back. That was exciting. That had Fletcher Hunt written all over it. We're heading to the sheds, 18 all. We thought, you know, we were matching them. You know, you could even potentially say we were the better team. You know, statistically, across the board, you know, I was reading it out in the Knights Watch, very, very even. Possession, even, meters, completion, everything was going toe-to-toe. And we're thinking, okay, all right, here we are. The Newcastle Knights once more taking it to a top 4 team. You know, we've got our injuries. You know, we've got to come into this review looking at, you know, we haven't got KP. We haven't got Dill Lucas. Bradman Best was a late scratching too, which we'll get to in a minute. But we're going, you know what? going down to Canberra, because we know we came so close, like we did against the Warriors. We went so close to beating them last time at home only a month ago. But here we are thinking, okay, good signs. We saw points being scored right from Leo Thompson. I've said it so many times. The Newcastle Knights have only scored 3 tries in the middle of the field all season. We're around 21. We're in the end of July. Can you believe it? We've only just scored our 4th try in the middle with a brilliant run by Leo Thompson. Just barges through, great line run there, breaks a tackle of Josh Papali'i, I believe it was. Great little flick pass, comes straight from the Matt Gidley Academy of Flick Passes, that one, to Kai Pearce-Paul. That was nice. We're staring down, the weeks are counting down. We've got 5 weeks or something left in the competition. 5 games to see our boy Kai Pearce-Paul in the red and blue. And it was nice to see a try scored from Kai. And then, as I was saying before, we saw the late try there, going to the other end of the half there. Fletcher Hunt sticking the hand out. Nice to see him being rewarded. He had a bit of a mixed bag when it came to defence. Had equal first, I believe, in missed tackles, 6 all up. Both of our centres had a mixed bag when it came defensively, but it was not. We all know. Look, put it this way: we all know what we got in Fletcher Hunt as far as attack. He is an attacking prowess player. How many we saw there? Dane Gagai. It was the Greggy Marzu try. And Gagai, our boy Dane, is going to feature heavily in this episode. Boy, oh boy, what a game from our boy Dane Gagai, Mr. Cabernet Sauvignon. We saw there shifting out to the left edge because we were having some absolute joy. When we were trucking down that left edge there, we were tearing them to pieces. We were making easy yardage. Looked like there was space for days. And I don't know why we didn't exploit that more with Xavier Savage and Matt Timokol. No, he had a great game in the second half. But every time we shift down that left edge in the first half, we just looked like we were stripping them for numbers. But Dane Gagai there, a brilliant little double pump, gets the ball out to Greggy Marzu, completely unmarked. All eyes were on Fletcher Hunt. So that was nice. As I was saying before, it was a really Raiders score, Knights to score. And there were some disappointing tries scored from the Raiders. We all know I love our boy. Come on, Kyle McCarthy. Only his 6th NRL game thus far. Can't be too critical. Of Kyle on this one. I think it was the Sasagi try because Sasagi burned him twice. Raiders get that scrum set, shift the ball out. They made it look pretty darn easy. Couple of passes out to left. Simi Sasagi filling in for the injured Sebastian Chris. A little bit of late footwork there. Burns our boy Kyle. Tyson Gamble. Geez, unfortunately, we're going to be talking about Tyson Gamble a little bit in this show. Really poor defensive effort. I can kind of give a little bit of a pass to the young centre coming in, but Tyson Gamble, I don't know what he was doing. He was just a really weak tackle effort there. Simi Sasagi just breaks that tackle with ease. It looked like he was just breezing past 2 children trying to play rugby league football. And then we saw it again. Simi Sasagi also going down that left side raid there. With Kyle not being able to complete the tackle. Don then's got to jump in. Jed Stewart's unmarked. They go around. I think that was the first try for Kyle Week. So, look, disjointed defensively on that right edge that burnt us quite badly in the first half. Even late in the second half, they stripped us for numbers there. Look, the Raiders are on top of the ladder for a reason. They're a well-oiled machine. They got strike. They got, the veteran players where they need them. They got the impactful, youthful players that are coming up and just doing a job for Ricky. They're all buying in, and the reason they are where they are. But, so look, missing Bradman Best was huge. We all love Fletch, as I've said before. It's no knock on Fletch, but maybe if Brady had been plugged into that left edge there, we would have seen more joy, had even more success on that left edge because we really did look really dangerous down there. Again, why we didn't explore that more often, I don't know. But anyways, is what it is there. Now, look, heading into the second half, we started pretty well. I thought we come out of the gates. First 10 minutes was really, really good. And this is where Jamal Fogarty just shows his worth. And his experience in the game. If you cast him on back, you might even remember it. It was such a passing point of the game. But if you remember, he kicked that ball dead. And from that moment on, He just knew the Knights had come out of the blocks. You know, how many times have we seen the Newcastle Knights come out in the second half? It looked like they're bloody asleep. But no, we came out, we started pretty strong, which was nice. But, you know, I think our boy, not our boy, their boy, Jamal Fogarty's identified this and going, fuck, we need to slow shit down. We need to slow the Newcastle Knights down. They have come out firing. After that late Fletcher Hunt try, the momentum is carrying on from that. Kicked it in there, and then that was pretty much it. They just controlled the rest of the game from that point on. That was, for me, the moment that happened, it was all downhill. They were in complete and utter control. The Newcastle Knights really had nothing to say in reply to that. But look, let's not just take it from me. Let's take our first call of the night. A man that has been up and down like a fiddler's elbow. He's been on the emotional roller coaster ride. That is the Newcastle Knights. Justin, what do you got, brother?
Rugby league is a game of momentum. It can go for us or it can go against us. The decisions by the bunker to allow those obstruction tries, yeah, they're wrong. And, you know, it shouldn't have happened. But honestly, the players should have adapted to that and gone, you know what, fuck it, let's go. Let's turn up for one another and turn up for the town. But they didn't. The try at halftime by Fletcher Hunt was beautiful. It was great. I was up out of my seat cheering and hollering, and yeah, it was awesome. And that momentum should have carried us through the second half. But again, Adam O'Brien comes into the half-time sheds, gives them a sleeping pill, and they come out in the second half and fall the fuck to sleep. Like, seriously. I lay the blame for this team at the feet of Adam O'Brien, because when he keeps continuously selecting players who don't improve week in, week out, it just creates this environment where they don't give a fuck. They are just taking the mickey out of the colours that we love. They are taking the mickey out of the team that we so passionately support. He's got to go. Honestly, he's got to go.
Oh, Justin, not mincing his words. Hey, wow, a minute 27 of passion, mate. I can feel it. I can feel it in my ears. I can feel it in my heart. I can feel it in my soul, pal. You're not alone. You're not alone, mate. We're all feeling it. It's okay. Get it off your chest. Now, look, okay, talking about player selection. One of the most head-scratching selections coming into this game was the late change of Tyson Gamble into the halves and Jackson Hastings to the bench. I do not get it. I don't get it then. I certainly do not get it now. We all thought Jackson Hastings. How long have we been calling for Jackson Hastings to come into this team? It was months in advance where I was saying, can we just please pull the trigger? Pretty please, for God's sake. Get him in. Let's go. Now, you know, has he been setting the world alight? No, but I think he is by far our best option in the halves at this point in time. He's had, you know, you could not, I guess you could say inconsistent games, up and down a little bit, but I certainly think he had given us no reason whatsoever to push him to the bench. I don't get it. As I said before, Tyson Gamble played about 11 minutes last week against the Warriors. Again, very limited minutes, didn't really impact the game in that 11 minutes at all. Certainly, I didn't see anything that would warrant him going, oh, I think Tyson's definitely deserving of the starting spot. I don't know what that was about. Tyson, unfortunately, you know, I've calmed down a bit, but yeah, I wasn't impressed with Tyson's game at all. You know, the only good thing that I can kind of remember him doing was early on. It was in the first 5 minutes of the game. We put that crossfield chip kick over to Dominic Young. And we're going, okay, I like this. We're thinking out of the bag a bit. I don't mind this, but that was it. I think we had a charge down kick there. How many times were we just kicking the ball end over end? Kaya Weeks, uncontested kicks. We've got scoreboard pressure. We've got game clock pressure, and we're just cheaply turning the ball over all the time. And then, yeah, that charge down, he was just so lucky one of the slowest blokes on the field charged down that ball. That had been a Kaya Weeks or something. That easily would have been a try to the Raiders. Easily. Yeah, I don't understand his selection at all. By all accounts, I don't think he's like been tearing it up in cup, like just bashing down the door with great form in cup to warrant coming in. I don't know if there was any maybe injury concern or fatigue coming into Jackson Hastings. He seemed to be doing really, really well. I didn't see any of that. He'd been kicking the ball, which is something he hadn't been doing when that ankle was giving him grief. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. I don't think we will see Tyson Gamble back in the halves again, unless it's through a lot of injury or suspensions or stuff like that. I just thought, yeah, mate, if you're not going to do your job in attack, you've got to at least be a great defending player. Again, not all missed tackles are created equal. He did have the equal most with Fletcher Hunt. 6 missed tackles for Tyson Gamble. He had that really bad one against Simi Sasagi. That was a real head scratcher. And I think a lot of battlers would agree with my sentiment going, why did we make that decision? Certainly didn't pay off. I think Adam O'Brien had his time again, would have made the change, would have not done that change. I don't know why. How many minutes did Jackson Hastings actually play? Let me take a quick peek here at the player statistics. What did Jacko actually end up playing this game? Where are you, Jacko? 17 minutes. See, again, why we didn't pull the trigger earlier in the second half? Clearly nothing was going our way. So we waited up until about the 63rd minute of the game before we actually pulled the trigger on getting Jacko out. And then when they did, he was playing bloody dummy half. How many times have we seen, Brails play bigger minutes, if not the full 80 minutes, and done pretty well? I thought Jaden Brayley was okay in this game. He certainly wasn't one of our worst players. I thought he had some really good moments there. I really don't understand why we made that choice. Bit of a head scratcher there. Now, look, what I do want to talk about on the theme of halves, because I know a lot of people are just sitting there thinking they've got our halves in their sights this week. And you know what? I think that's fair criticism. I think that's really fair criticism. The big difference out of this game, what really stood out was the stark gap in class between the halves, much like what we saw against the Melbourne Storm, but it was more evidently so this game. Canberra's spine, led by Jamal Fogarty and Ethan Strange, played with clarity, tempo, polish, controlling the kicking game, smart kicking, creating space through composure and repeat efforts time and time again. And then in contrast to us, we just look completely and utterly disjointed once again, and just reactive football. Just we're going down there. Canberra gave us plenty of opportunities, particularly in the first half. How many times in the first half are we just thinking, oh, here we go? Uncharacteristic effort, errors by the Raiders or penalties, things like that. We're getting down there. It's just poor execution once more. It's just the play doesn't look good. Shape looks rubbish. All the rest of it. So it's just no genuine, I felt completely no game management from Cogs. The kicking game I thought was quite poor. And it's just that inability to shift momentum. Once the Raiders started to surge, there was just we didn't really see anything from either of our halves to try and, steer momentum back in our favour. And that loss just remind you, just simply cannot compete with the elite sides without genuine class in the halves. You just can't. When the game tightened, the Raiders playmakers just executed plays, and when it blew open, they absolutely exploited us. And it just goes to show you why they're on top of the ladder, why they are such a good halves pairing, Jamal Fogarty and Ethan Strange. Jamal had a couple of kicks. I think he had one out in the full by memory. Not all kicks were on point, but geez, a lot of them were just exactly what they needed. How many times have, that huge dropout that went fucking nearly 80 odd meters, or the kick on a dime for Noah Miles to score a try. Just those little things. They're just icing those moments. And unfortunately, we're still struggling with that in 2025. And Jack Cogger, he has his great games. He picked up my pay cat 2 points last week, I believe. He was in my top 3 best players, but it's just the inconsistency. That's really, it feels like one week we're praising some of these guys, and the next week they're just letting us down when we're really needing them to stand up and create something, or come up with some brilliant play, or just something to wrestle a bit of momentum back in our favor. It just does not seem to happen. Just doesn't seem to happen. And as I was saying before, you got this right edge with Kai Pearce-Paul, Fletcher Hunt, and Dominic Young. Why are not we just not exploiting crossfield kicks to that side more? Or, as I said, just shifting the ball out to the left and just trying to just keep going down that way. I know it's predictable, but we're having so much joy down there. I don't know. It was stark contrast. I know they're on top of the ladder for a reason. I get we got players missing. Some of our best players are out. Brady Best, arguably one of our best. Dylan Lucas, one of our best. Kalen Ponga, a lot of you won't want to admit, one of our best. I know we've got some key players out and there's some youngsters in there, but boy, oh boy, I thought the forwards did pretty well. I thought, that it was pretty evident that the Raiders are going to want to play that power game. That's what they've been doing all year. When you got guys like Joey Tarpanay, Josh Papali'i and Corey Horsburgh, all representative class, elite level players, at the peak of their powers at the moment. I thought, Leo and JSAF to start the game did pretty well. I think you look in the first half and go, I think we went toe-to-toe with them. Even though Leo's statistically, the run meters, I don't think he had massive run meters. If I can find it for Leo, I did have it jotted down in my notes earlier. Sorry, Battlers. 54 minutes played, 7 runs for 55 meters. But, defensively, made the most tackles, 39 tackles, only 2 missed for Leo. So, it is what it is there. Tackled his absolute rugby league dick off. Didn't have the huge run meters that we would probably like to see from him. But all in all, I wasn't sort of sitting back watching that game and thought it was like incredibly dreadful. As I said before, set up that really great try for Kai in the first half. But yeah, I certainly thought the forwards, albeit they did sort of run away with a little bit in the second half. Well, actually, this will be a prime opportunity for me to take a look at the statistics, because as I was saying earlier, halftime, neck and neck. A lot of the statistics were razor thin margins in it. We were very, very similar. But this is where it blew out. It blew out in a big way. The Raiders with 55% possession. That is huge. You might be looking at that and going, 5%, yeah, it's not that big a deal. In rugby league football, that 5% is massive. That brings massive amounts of fatigue to the Newcastle Knights. It's astonishing. So 45% possession for the Knights. 80% completion to the Raiders, only 66 for the Knights. So going back, more and more errors, particularly in the red zone there, just not icing our opportunities when we're getting down there. And then on the other side of the field, just putting our defense under more and more pressure. How many times did we see him silly errors or 6 again calls and things like just mounting more and more pressure on our defense, on their goal line against the best team in the comp is not what you want. 176 runs for the Raiders for 1,697. So bugger it. We rounded up 1,700 run meters for the Canberra Raiders, 179. So we had 3 more runs, but only managed 1,515. So they've had, we've had 3 more runs, but they've managed an extra 200 run meters. So just goes to show you the physicality for the Raiders was on point. They were bending the line more than we were. And there we go. This goes to prove my point once more. The Raiders were 604 post-contact meters to our 420. So they had 200 more run meters and then 200 more post-contact meters on top of that. So yeah, won the physicality battle there. No surprise whatsoever. 7 line breaks to our 3. As I was saying before, when you got some young guys with Kyle McCarthy and Fletcher Hunt, I don't want to just pick out these 2 guys, but they did get found out a couple of times there by Timoko and Simi Sasagi, both quality players. So yeah, no surprise they sort of torched our edges in that regard. Here's another massive one. Kick defusal. This has got to be the lowest kick defusal percentage I've ever seen, and certainly the biggest disparity. The Raiders with a 93% kick defusal. How many times are we seeing kicks go up? They're either just not big enough or they've just got the memo. They're just not wanting to contest the ball, and we're just pulling our hair out at the late stages of this game going, why? Why are we not contesting the ball? The clock is ticking. We need to score points, contest, just throw something up, anything up. That didn't happen.
Justin just said the uncontested kicks, constantly kicking bombs rather than kicking for meters, and to keep them in their halves, as well as the lack of ability to control games, is killing us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's yeah, as I said, you could understand that thought. You're going, okay, we want to play high percentage. We want to just camp them down their end. That's something you would expect the Raiders to do, because they're in complete control. They're up by 3 or 4 tries and go, you know what, boys, we're just going to round this out. We're going to round this out. But make the Newcastle, look at the Warriors do, that transition. You want to just have them trying to work the ball out as far away from your end goal as possible and just defend, just back your defense. But then on the flip side, how many times, Tyson Gamble, you put these kicks up and Kai Weeks is just catching it completely uncontested. There's not a bloody nice player within Kui. What are we doing? We need to score points. you just cheaply hand the ball over. But anyways, to get back to my point, 18% kick defusal for the Newcastle Knights. I cannot recall one sub 20%. That is absolutely crazy. And we saw it time and time again, didn't we, Battlers? On the Knights watch, we read it like a book. How many times Jamal Fogarty kicking it across to Greg Marzu? I don't want to talk about it. It is what it is. Unfortunately, the man can't jump high. He is vertically challenged as far as jumping's concerned. I don't know whether we can send him off somewhere in the off season. Is there a world academy for jumping high? Is there an NBA class? Can we send him off? Can we send him off to the Chicago Bulls or the bloody Golden State Warriors or something? Just teach this man how to dunk.
High jump?
High jump, maybe. Maybe that'd be a bit weird. That's a different jumping technique. I don't want to see him like throw his legs in the air. Go, Greg, what are you doing? You need your hands up there, pal, not your legs. Yeah, I don't know. Do we send him off to the NBA? Or maybe he's in an NBL team. Maybe Newcastle needs to get an NBL team back. Bring back the Falcons. Get Greg Marzu in the building.
Synchronized swimming?
Synchronized, maybe. Just get the power back in his legs. We need something. Look, it is what it is with Greg Marzu. There's no point going on and on about it. It's clearly a weakness that teams are identifying week in, week out. They're having plenty of joy. How many times did Xavier Savage? Yeah, get the jump on Greg. It is what it is at this point. Just be constantly repeating ourselves with that regard. With Greg Marzu. But yeah, statistically, again, tackle efficiency slightly in favour of the Knights, 89% compared to the Raiders, 84%. Again, the Knights making 380 tackles compared to the Raiders, 287. So getting back to what I was saying, that 5% possession is enormous. The Newcastle Knights making basically 100 extra tackles. 100 extra tackles. So you can see why the game at the later stages blew out. You've got a team that's dominating both in attack and in defense, right? Just, yeah. Once that fatigue kicks in those later stages of the game, this is why these score lines blow out against the great teams. But yeah, but anyways, let's get a bit of positivity in. Let's take a look at this week's Knights Handing Forward Player of the Week, shall we? Brought to you by LGB Marine, the experts in building resilience on and off the water, just like the toughest structures they construct. This week's player has been battle-tested, unshaken, and built to withstand anything. LGB Marine, strength, precision, resilience. Let's dive into this week's winner. Unequivocally, there is no doubt whatsoever that this week's winner, once more, back-to-back, our captain with another great captain's knock, Dane Gagai. Wowee, what another stellar performance. Ricky Stewart even going on record to say he was by far the hungriest player on the field, both for the Raiders and the Knights. And we're just all sitting here at this point in time. The more and more of these games, we know what we got in Dane Gagai, don't we, Battlers? But these games now, when the chips are down and we're missing so many troops, and you get a guy like this playing out of position, really, he hasn't played fullback in a long, long time, our boy Gay. Let me just... Can I strike it? There we go. Good job. That's weird. Anyways, yes. How many versatility at this point? Just had his hands on everything. Let's take a look at that before we get into the contract stuff. Let's take a look at Dane Gagai's statistics once more. Where are you, Gags? All right, Dane Gagai, obviously the 80 minutes played. He's got the try assist there for that beautiful double pump there for Greggy Marzu. 21 runs for 176 run meters, the most of any Newcastle Knight. 29 post contact, 10 tackle breaks once more against the Raiders. 1 line break assist, 2 offloads, 6 tackles, 5 missed. That ain't great. But again, not all missed tackles are created equal, so keep that in mind. 3 errors. But yeah, boy, oh boy. We're just sitting here. The more and more games this man is playing in the latter stages of this season, the more and more he's proving we need Dane Gagai. We need him now, and we need him heading into 2026. Like, he is just invaluable to this team, and it's going to break our hearts, Battlers, if there's news come out that this guy is leaving the building to play one more season somewhere else. Oh, it'll be a travesty. This man deserves the performances he's putting in. And it's not like he's this guy you'd say, oh, he's just playing for a contract. Man, apart from a 2022 season, which was down by his standards, look, apart from that, man, he has just turned up every single week for the Newcastle Knights, even through the fucking dark ages. Cast your minds back. I can still close my eyes and picture it. I believe Dane just lost his grandmother the day or two before the game. I think it was 2016 or 2017. We got another absolute pounding at home, I think it was. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember. Was it Tarek Sims giving him a cuddle? The poor bastard's just breaking down. And, mate, it's just this guy deserves to finish his career as a Knight. He should have never left for the Rabbitohs. Robbie O'Davis even saying if there was any Newcastle Knight he wished he could have played with, it would have been Dan Gagai. And there would be so many old school OG Knight players that would completely and utterly agree with him. I guarantee the great Joey Johns would be like, absolutely, he'd be a guy I would have loved to play some rugby league football with. You know, big game player. We've seen it time and time again. He's won a Wally Lewis medal, for God's sake. Even when we're in the pits of the dark age, I think it was 2017. You know, the best player in an Origin series. He's tough, aggressive, leads by example. You know, I've been often critical of his captaining. You know, would I put him as captain? But hasn't he proved me wrong? When you're putting up performances like this, just leading by example, particularly with so many young players in the team. And if there's going to be a bit of a shift and we're going to have even less experience in the squad next year, that to me is a no-brainer to keep this guy. And it's not like he's breaking the bank. I think the reported value is $400,000. I'm yet to see any comment anywhere saying, yeah, no, he's not worth that. We should let him go. Like, come on, let's be real. There'd be so many clubs, so many other supporters just sitting there going, what are the Knights doing? We would love Day in the building. Even if he was a fringy, even if he was playing cup and came in and filled a job. Crazy. So we just got to hope and pray a deal gets done because this is insane. He is playing such good football. And again, rarely injured. He's just been blessed. He's genetically blessed that, you know, age is just a number. Look, I've even got a bottle of wine after him. The great Cabernet Sauvignon, the Dane Gagai Cabernet Sauvignon. Just gets better with age, this fella. But yes, so again, another huge performance by Dane. He was absolutely everywhere. You couldn't knock the bloke's effort whatsoever. He was just trying his absolute guts out over the weekend. And yeah, very well deserved Nightanian Forge Player of the Week this week. And that's going to jump straight into my Knighted Players of the Week, brought to you by Paycat. Payroll made easy by Koulibaly, who know their stuff. Whether you're paying the boys on a construction site or trying to figure out that tricky Shads award for your NDIS biz, Paycat makes it dead easy. There's not many things in life anymore, Lou, that are dead easy. And that Paycat are going to give you something that is dead easy. They back hundreds of businesses and even help an NRL club keep their payroll running smooth too. You can do payroll yourself or get the Paycat team to do it for you. Either way, you're going to have more time to crack a cold one and watch the footy. Let's take a look at some blokes who earned their pay this week. And yes, I'm in complete and utter agreement with you. Dane Gagai once more got my 3 points. Lock him in there. Kai Pearce-Paul once more bagged a try there. Defensively awesome. Let's take a look at Kai's statistics. 80 minutes there, bagged a try in the first half. 15 runs for 128 of the best 53 post contact. Got the line break there, 4 offloads, 37 tackles, only 1 missed. Again, you guys all know how I feel about Kai Pearce-Paul in defense. Yeah, I'll just be repeating myself. He just time and time again shows up. It doesn't matter what team, the caliber of team, whatever they're throwing at him. He does a job there. Very physical player. It's just in attack. It's just the more and more weeks that pass by and we don't see the unbridled Kai Pearce-Paul cut loose, doing the things we know he can do, it breaks my heart. Shout out to you, Matty G. Speak Free with Matty G. Great podcast. Mad Tiger supporter will DMing and just say, mate, I just feel like the Knights have just squandered this man's great talents. And if he goes down to the West Tigers under Benji's regime and flourishes, I'll be happy and sad at the same time. I'll be happy this man is just doing what he does. The rugby league gazelle, how good is it just when he's broken free, doing his thing and just flourishing and scoring points and breaking tackles and doing offloads and all that crazy shit that we know he can do. It's unfortunate. We just haven't given him the tools he needs to do that for us. So, but yes, he picked up my 2 points once more. Another guy we've got to keep in the building, Tyson Frizzell, I thought was enormous once more again. Let's take a look at Tyson's statistics. He's got the 39 minutes. In that 39 minutes, battlers, he's got 14 runs for 150 run meters, 46 post contact. He's got the 25 tackles, 0 missed, 1 error. Another huge knock. Again, much like that Storm game, immediate impact. You notice when Tyson Frizzell was on the field, and that's what you want from your bench players. Maybe something we haven't seen a lot from our bench players, but there's the occasions Tyson has gone back there. Boy, oh boy, doesn't he move the needle in the right way? As soon as he comes on, that immediate impact. I thought he was really, really good against a really, really stoic, strong forward pack for the Raiders. He picked up my 1 point this week for the Paycat United players of the week. Let's take a look at a couple of other guys. What else have I got here? Greggy Marzo, again, struggled under the high ball, but look, we all know what we're going to get from Greg, breaking tackles and doing that thing. Again, frustrated the Raiders. How many times they look to try and camp us down there, and he's just so good at that stuff, battlers. He's just so good. You just got to take. What's one thing, Lou, in life that just has? There's something really good about it, but there's just something really bad about it. But you just got to take the good. The good just outweighs the bad too much.
Oh, I don't know.
What's one of those things in life? Give me an example, battlers. It's just one of those things that's so great that you love, but it's just got that one disappointing feature about it, and you're just like, oh, you know what I mean? Maybe it's that one album that's really good, but it's got that one track that you fucking hate.
Yeah,
But you just like, it's a great album. I've got to learn to live with it. It is what it is.
You've put me on the spot. Let's see what the battlers say.
Let me know. Give me a great analogy for Greg Marzu. With all the great stuff he does on the ground, it's just, unfortunately, he's a terrible basketball player. You know, wasn't he? That's right. He was like a champion bloody dancer. So, yeah, you would think that maybe dancers, not all dancers are great jumpers. Maybe he's more of
the Olympics.
Maybe more of a break dancer, more of a ray gun kind of person, just staying on the ground doing his work there. Fletcher Hunt, again, coming in. Brady Best was a massive out, expected to play in a couple of weeks' time after the bye. Look, we all know what our boy Fletcher Hunt can do in attack. He's an exciting young prospect. We're going to be seeing plenty more of Fletcher Hunt. Love to see him get that contract extension a couple months ago. Obviously not a complete play. Still got a long ways to go, especially defensively when you're going toe-to-toe with the big dogs, the Raiders. Got shown up a little bit. Look, he'll be all the better for it. We're in that territory now, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. We'll take another call about blooding in some players. But yeah, he's a guy it's only going to do him better. Dom Young, very limited opportunities. The right side didn't get much love at all. There was a couple of instances, going back to Dane Gagai, how good was it when he was just trucking nut, getting the quick play the ball, and just immediately gets it to Dom Young. Dom nearly created something. He was well on his way.
Justin with the goods. It's like the McGriddle, full of promise, but tasted like shit.
I didn't mind the McGriddle. I didn't mind it. Have you know what they are, don't you, Luke?
They've come back again.
I didn't think they were. I thought this was the first time. You know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, the maple syrup bun things.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, Justin. Not a fan of the McGriddle. Okay. Let me know. Comment away. Are you a fan of the McGriddle or not? Clearly, Justin is not. Where was I? What was I talking? What was I rambling on about? Dominic Young. There was a couple of occasions there. He looked like he might have been able to break free, but all in all, just didn't get a lot of chances out there. Don't want to go on the halves too much there. Everyone knows how I feel. Jermaine McEwen is a dude full of confidence, and I love it.
We've had a lot of battlers mentioning McEwen.
Yeah, Jermaine was, again, not a game with massive highlights, or we'll have a look at his stats. I don't think his stats really jumped off the page, so to speak, but they don't always tell a full story. Jermaine McEwen, 65 minutes, 11 runs, 74 run meters, 26 post contact. He's got the 1 tackle break, 34 tackles, 2 missed, which is pretty nice. He got the 1 kick for 39 meters, got the 2 errors. But yeah, the great kick there for a set restart for the Knights. I think that was the one that fucking Jamal Fogarty fucking launched into space and they made fucking 80 meters on it. That one sucked, but it's great when you see a guy that's played all of 5 or so NRL games making these plays. We've seen it so many times. They don't always work, but it just goes to show you, these guys, they got something about them. There's a bit of a swag, bit of a confidence about him. And I think every game that goes on, he's solidifying the fact that, yes, life after Kai Pearce-Paul will be Jermaine McEwen parked up on that right edge. So loving what I'm seeing from Jermaine. Phoenix, look, not his best game, certainly not his worst game. He had that really poor no-look pass. He was just trying to play a bit of the link man, trying to get the ball to his outside men. Wasn't the right play. Just another one of these poor errors for the Newcastle Knights. He wasn't the only one to make one. All in all, you know what you're going to get. It's gutsy in defense. I'm loving the headband look. Let's just keep that. The G train's got to keep the braids. Fletcher Hunt and Fletcher Sharp have got to keep the mullet. And Phoenix has got to keep that long blonde hair with the bloody strapping around it. That's got to be locked in. I want to see a premiership one where it's blood pissing out of his head. He's got the bandage across the head and all that. I can just see it. I'm envisaging it. I'm manifesting it. I'm loving it. So Crossland had a really good game. Jackson Hastings, again, let's hope he's not 14. That just did not work. I don't understand it. I'm sure he's sitting there going, what am I doing at 14 coming in and playing a bit of hooker? I thought Brayley was fine doing what he was doing there, but Hetherington and Croker, yeah, they did the thing. They had an okay game, nothing massively spectacular, but did a job there. But yeah, battlers, all in all, Newcastle Knights, as I said, massive reality check. A lot of people could even say this was the best team in the comp versus the worst team in the comp. I don't necessarily agree with it. I've seen some comments suggesting that. I certainly don't feel like we're the worst team in the comp. I don't think the worst team in the comp defends and goes toe-to-toe for at least half the game against a quality team. I think a worst team in the comp would be, put to bed rather quickly. But yeah, all in all, just outclassed, outmuscled, all the rest of it. They just, that second half, they just run away with it. And Jamal Fogarty, just too good. We really need, it's becoming evidently so. And, did I cop some heat with that Dill Brown post I put out, just saying this game just tells you why you need quality class spine players. And I tell you what, I was sitting there in the nights watching, I'm just going, we need a Dill Brown and more. I don't know. I would have thought this game people would have gone, you know what, fuck it. Nah, let's lean into it. He's coming. Battlers, just learn to live with it. Trust me. The sun will rise in the morning, and Dylan Brown is coming to the Newcastle Knights for the next 8 years. They are two things that are inevitable. Justin Timberlake will give you a shit performance. The sun will rise, and Dylan Brown is coming to the Newcastle Knights. Accept it. Life will be better. Move on. You've got to adjust. Stop denying it. Stop fighting it. There's no point fighting it. Just accept it. He is going to be in the building. You are going to be tuning in to the United for the next 8 to 10 years, and I'll be talking about Dylan Brown 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a week. It is what it is. He's coming. Get used to it. Get on board. The Dill Brown era is upon us, and I feel like he's a guy that we needed. Anyone who's sitting there thinking we don't need class in these positions, I would have thought this game of all would have shown why you need that. And the glaze the Warriors one more time. This is what makes what the Warriors are doing so compelling. The fact they've had so many injuries, the fact they're missing their breakout half, Luke Metcalf, and they bring in a Tanner Boyd, and he's carrying this team. I know they got beaten by the fucking Titans. How much does that suck to get beaten by a team that lost to the Titans? Anyways, I really feel for you WA supporters. God, losing to the Titans is just the fucking worst. It just goes to show you that the quality of the roster, that the top 30, you can plug in guys and the drop-off isn't too bad. They're not going to be obviously the same caliber, but they come in and they do a job. They carry the team. They buy into the system. And we've got a bit of ways to go. We're certainly... I wouldn't say rebuild, but we're as close to a rebuild as you're going to get, I feel, for the Newcastle Knights, and they're moving forward. But let's do it, actually, because that's going to lead me slightly into this next point. Let's answer your burning questions brought to you by Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training. If you work in a business, battlers, chances are you are not prepared for fire or emergency, so make sure you get in contact with Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training for your training, plans, procedures, whatever it is. You need to ensure your staff know what to do in an emergency situation. Get in contact with them, because if you do not learn, you will burn. All right, let's take a couple of calls to kick off the segment. We're gonna go first one here. Let's go with Chris. Are you going to load, Chris? It's going to have a moment. Hang on, mate. Let's try again.
Hi, Link, Lou, and Battlers. Well, that was definitely a game of two halves, wasn't it? I don't know what to think after that game. All I can say is Cogger and Gamble should not be back in first grade ever again. That was the most shitful halves performance I've ever seen in a long time. We had no kicking game. It was absolute shit. The only decent kick came from Jermaine McEwen where he forced a dropout. That was the only decent kick of the game. Good on the young bloke for it. Yeah, I don't know where we go from here. We really, really need a quality half. Really, 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 really desperately need a quality half to steer this side around. Season was over a few weeks ago. Like I said, we need to bring in some young knights. Just to blood them and get them ready for first grade because it's not going to hurt. We're not going to get any better if we don't. So it's going to have to happen. And my 3-2-1s for this game was Gags, KPP, and Hunt. They were actually pretty good for us, but don't have any more else to say. Okay, thanks, guys.
Straight to the point, Chris. Love it, brother. Love it, mate. All right. Well, yes, I agree with you, mate. We do need to get a quality half in the building. I'm still waiting for someone, somewhere to tell me why Fletcher Hunt can't be the number 7 moving forward. Please, voicemails open, inboxes open. Send me why, and we'll talk about it. But anyways, now on the subject of blooding new players. Now, if you remember Jason Rolls famously omitting Dylan Brown from the team because, they're preparing for the future. I like that move. Now, Adam O'Brien, if you didn't catch the press conference, actually talked about this, and he did make kind of a valid point. He's like, look, I don't want to just hand out the jersey for guys that really haven't earned it. I still really feel like the best players need to be getting those spots. You're not just blooding guys in for the sake of blooding them in and hoping they're going to be better for it, sort of thing. I do understand that argument, but I'm leaning towards what you're saying, Chris. Now, here's a list of guys in the squad that I think we need to really look at. Now, let's kick it off. We've got Taj Arnon, still yet to make his debut. Matty Arthur, Elijah Salsalamawana. I've thrown Tommy Khan in this mix because he hasn't played in a bit, so I'm going to chuck him kind of in that mix too. Cody Hopwood, still yet to make his debut. Francis Manu Laulau, yet to make his debut. I've got Jermaine McEwen in there, but I feel like he is going to continue to play. I can't see him being dropped at this point. James Schiller is another guy in the mix. I know he's played a lot more games. He's certainly made his debut, but keep him in the mix. Will Sullivan, another guy that we signed if he cast his minds back. Queensland guy, second row forward, I can't remember, somewhere in the forwards. And Mason Teague, another guy, still yet to make his club debut. He's obviously played NRL before. For the Dolphins, so look, here's a couple of guys now. Top of the list for me, Matty Arthur. Now, you got Jaden Brayley leaving. I think that 14 spot is primed and ready for Matty Arthur. I think we just lock in, fingers crossed on at 13. We're going to keep developing him there. Matty Arthur, let's see what he's got. Let's see what we're working with here. I think the more and more games we can get into Matty Arthur and see what we got, a guy highly touted. Parramatta did not want to lose this guy. So I think he was forced out of the building. So I'm with you. I would like to see him. Elijah Salsalamawana, I thought he had a really good couple of games. I think you would probably, you got guys like Adam Elliott, Jack Hetherington aren't going to be at the club anymore. I think they're guys, Jack Hetherington really didn't set the world alight. I think you could easily bring in, an Elijah, a Cody Hopwood to make his debut. These kind of guys, especially Cody, dip his toes in the water, bring him off the bench for a game. Just get that introduction in NRL football. Mason Teague might be another one that, we made that swap deal for his name escapes me. What was his name? The Sebastian Sewer for the Dolphins there. So he could be another guy we look at. So I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. I kind of understand where you're coming from. You don't just want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and go, you know what, bugger it. Who cares? We're long odds to win a lot of these games. Let's just usher in as many new guys as we can, because that can also be detrimental. We've seen it through the dark ages, what happens when you have so many inexperienced players just chucked into the mix. it can go the other way too. So you want it to be a balancing act. You don't just want to go throwing in youngsters for the sake of throwing in youngsters. But I do agree. There's some guys I feel like moving forward now, because yes, it's making its debut this year. The calculator is out. Now, mathematically, we are still a chance, but I think we have to at least win 4 or 5 games, and we're in the territory. Destiny is out of our hands, and it's going to be in the hands of other clubs. But let's be real. The run home that we've got, and I put it to the Battlers. What was it? I put out the graphic. We've got the Panthers after the bye, the Cowboys in Townsville. Then we've got the Broncos at home, the Sharks away, and the Parramatta Eels away. We aren't going to be favourites in any of those games unless there is mass restings of some of these players. They might have been locked into the top 8 or injury.
Got a lot of spoon memes on that post, didn't you?
Oh, well, I don't know. It sucks. I really did feel that we were going to be a team that was going to be fighting for 8, but nowhere near spoon talk. But here we are in staring at round 22, and to the annoyment of a lot of people, everyone thinks I'm a very optimistic kind of guy, but fuck, I'm looking at these games. If I'm a betting man, it is going to be a fucking big ass to try and win a game against these guys. Let's be honest. I know we've come close against some big clubs. Last week was a big step backwards, but yeah, geez, we'd have to have a look at the run that the Titans they would have softer runs. I'd imagine that's a pretty tough run home. But yeah, I'm with Chris on this one. I think we really need to start blooding some of these guys. Top of my list, Matty Arthur, Elijah. I think Elijah's got a big future at the club, so I'd like to see him take maybe Jack Hetherington's spot or something, and Cody Hopwood. Let's get this guy in. I think he featured in the under 19s, was under 20, sorry. What is it called? State of Origin, Sunny Coast, bagged a try. He's a guy that's been highly touted for a long time. Maybe his time has come now to get that debut, to get that first game under his belt, and a couple more. Something to do him better heading into next year, because forward stocks are looking light. There were reports today about, the Raiders are closely monitoring now this Josh Papali'i scenario. If he goes around one more time, because I believe Trey Mooney, who we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, the Knights keeping a close eye on. There were rumours that he was getting a bit miffed at the amount of game time he's playing, next to none. And I think they were thinking, nah, mate, next year's your year. Josh is moving on. But now they're having second thoughts on that. So, bit of unrest. So, if Trey Mooney becomes available, you can guarantee you the Newcastle Knights are going to be in the box seat to get his signature. He will be coming in to replace Leo Thompson immediately. He would be the starting prop moving into next year. But yes, all right, enough of blooding in new players. Tompy, what do you got?
Hey, it's Tompy. Unfortunately, another loss. First half kept up. It was a tough day with the wind and stuff like that. But yeah, second half, I just don't think we talk about them anymore. Let's just hope we can get another win by the end of the year, really, and support the women's. We got Magic Round for the women's coming up. I thought, is anyone going to go full kit wanker for the women's Magic Round like they do for the men? Anyway, take it easy, and bring on next year.
Oh, God. 2026 can't come soon enough, can it, Tompy? Thank God for the girls. Thank God for the girls absolutely smashing the Eels. Get the full kit wankers going. Newcastle, a couple weeks' time, the inaugural women's Magic Round. Get amongst it. Love sending your full kit wanker photos. Would love to see them at Mac Jones Stadium. Get around it. At least they're giving us something to cheer about, because it's a bit of a grim old end to the 2025 season. Another one we'll want to forget for us, Tompy. Yes. Yeah. It's going to be a long off season. All right. What do we got? What have the Battlers got, Lou?
Christopher said, Link, if we win only one more game this year, let it beat the Broncos.
Oh, brother, please. please, I will personally message every single player and beg them. I'll be saying, please, it's going to be one of the great nights watches. There's going to be a few Broncos supporters in here. We've even got the great Nick Davis, who happens to be the ground announcer for Suncorp Stadium, obviously a massive Broncos supporter. He's coming in here to make his Night's Watch debut. You're seeing Dom. He gets his head in the comments occasionally. Hef, the pain in the ass. You get to see him bloody on camera, the dickhead. You'll hate him even more, I can guarantee you, Battlers. So I'm with you. We have to win that game. It's I can't even put it into words how much it means to me when we beat the Broncos. It seems like it's been a while. It's been long overdue.
Can you please just ban that dance?
Oh, they'll be doing it I guarantee it.
Ugh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know it's going to suck. How good was it though on the subject of the Broncos Friday night? Oh my God, Reece Walsh having an absolute stinker. God knows how many errors he made, and here they are all thinking they won the game of football. They're all cheering. Madge Maguire's smiling, and then, yep, you're offside, pal. Oh, that was good. That made my Friday night. That made my Friday and my Saturday to see the Broncos just have victory in their lap and then just whisked away. Oh, that was good. That was good. I'd love a finish like that. Could you imagine that? Had that been the Knights and they thought they'd beaten us and they hadn't? Oh, I wouldn't end that stream. I would literally be following them in their cars with the cameras rolling. So you guys
done
could
a
feed them.
nudie run down the street following them.
It'd be epic. It'd be epic. So let's hope we get something like that against the Broncos.
All right. Matthews asks, where do our Newcastle Knights go from here after the loss since the finals are out of reach?
It's going to be hard, man, because you're in this limbo now, aren't you? And you don't want your players to lose touch because you don't want to just, end the season just getting pounded into the core of the earth for the rest of the year. There's still a lot of good that can be done now that'll transfer into the preseason and the rest of it. So it's still really important. That's what I was saying before. Don't just go blood and guys. Don't just have the attitude, fuck it. Doesn't matter if we win or lose now. We're probably going to lose. Fuck it. Throw as many new guys in there. Blokes that aren't going to be here, turf them or whatever. You still got to have a balancing act. You still want guys to come in and you still want to compete and do all that stuff. And hopefully we upset a couple of teams. It's happened before where teams late, it's how many times have we seen the teams like the Titans last week? The Titans, a team that has just been languishing at the bottom of the ladder for fucking months, gets one on a top 4 team. It can just be a case of the lower place teams have more to play for. They've got nothing to lose, pride on the line, and it does happen. You quite often see a bit of the old trope, a bit of a rugby league ambush, don't you, on some of the top teams. So it's still important that we finish strong, mate, for the guys that are going to stick around. And I guess the upside is much like what we saw from Dill Lucas. We're seeing that, curtains peeled back on guys like Jermaine McEwen. I don't know. Let's use that and go, okay, some of these guys that certainly aren't going to be in the building next year, let's chuck in some of these new young forwards. Let's see what they got. Test their wares. Matty Arthur. I think Matty Arthur wears. He is a guy that's got huge potential. We could see a couple of really good games from him and get really excited for next year and go, ooh, okay, is this guy ready to be our starting number 9? Has this guy been a bit of a, a bit of a sleeping giant, so to speak, in the Newcastle Knights roster that's sort of gone under the radar a little bit? So still some stuff to be excited about. I know it sucks having a, again, statistically, well, mathematically, we're still a chance, but let's be real, we're not making finals. It's the silver linings, mate. It's the silver linings, developing these young guys at this point of the year for clubs that aren't playing finals.
Here's a good take from Aaron. There's a lot of potential for next year. I give a few young guys the chance to come up to first grade and give them game experience. We're not making the 8, bring the young fellas forward. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, there's still, as I say, you just got to look to the future now. Again, I don't think I don't think we're in rebuild territory. I think it's like we're blowing up the roster. There's clearly some spots we really need to identify and address. I love what you said, Aaron. Forwards is certainly an area we get asked every week. Link, who are we signing? Who are we bringing in? Who are we looking at? Who's off contract? Well, you've got some young guys that we've secured for long-term, got long-term plans on. Let's see what they got. Let's chuck them in there, and they'll be better for it. You'd like them to make their debuts under better circumstances, but look, they'll be thrilled just to get the jersey. I'm sure any of those guys will pick. I don't think anyone's going to be saying they haven't earned their spot. Yeah, get excited. It'll be exciting to see some new faces and see what they can bring.
Joanne's asked, I'm still not convinced Dylan Brown does his best with Moses, so who does he need to perform with us? Ponga, and if he's out, then I'm really hoping I'm wrong.
Look, Joanne, the attack for the Parramatta Eels is going to look a lot different to the three-pronged attack of the Newcastle Knights. I know, like, we should try and really get excited for the new brand of attack that's coming in 2026. This year has been diabolical. Like, compared to 2023, we were the best attacking team in the league. Only a mere 2 or 3 seasons ago. Now look at us. We're the worst. So, look, I think it's going to be an unconventional looking attack, but we've got kind of unconventional type players playing in these positions. I think we can really lean into it, and that can be the identity. I think we're all sitting here going, what on earth? We all know defensively what the Knights are about. We know what Brian McDermott's got his hand all over this defensive system, and we know what we're going to get. And for 21 weeks now, we've seen defensively we're a really good team. We're a really good team that's willing to get in the trenches. Unfortunately, on the flip side, the playbook and the attack is just so fucking pedestrian. It's just, I don't know whether it's been poorly coached, poorly. I don't think it's the players poorly executing it. I just think the whole game plan sucks. I think it's just the non-contesting of balls, just the rest of it. We got these strike players and we don't utilize them to the best of their abilities. But yeah, look, Joanne, trust me, it's going to work. It's going to work. Is it going to work from round 1 onwards? And if he comes out and and it's a bit flat, don't worry, because what happened when? Here's another great example. When James Tedesco had his first year at the Roosters in 2018, right? We all know James Tedesco, great fullback, one of the greatest. Came to the Roosters and they spluttered for months. Didn't look good. Yeah, Cooper Cronk, Keary, and Teddy, and it just took a while. All of them gun players. All representative level players, all premiership winners. And it just didn't click right away. But then at the back end of the season, boy, oh boy, didn't it work. They ended up winning the grand final that year, and they went back to back in 2019. So, all those, I'm sitting there waiting for it. It can go one or two ways. We can come out and people go, ooh, I like this. Especially, anything really looks good in attack compared to what we've been dished up for most of this year. But if it's a bit disjointed, don't sweat it too much. These things will take time, and he's going to be around for a long time, and it'll work out. The Roosters in 2018 were a prime example of bringing in another really gun player into the spine, and it's just taking a little while for him to gel and work out who's who in the zoo. All right, so trust me, Joanne, life is a lot easier when you get on board the Dill Brown train. All right, come and join me. There's plenty of space. All right, it's good time. Good time.
Tony said earlier, it amazes me how the shit teams get the dud calls. We have been screwed so many times this year from the bunker. The standard of refereeing has been bad this year.
Oh, Tony, look, mate, I made an effort not to bring it up because I didn't want any Raiders supporters coming here going, oh, the fucking Knights supporters are just blaming the refs. Look, I'm going to address it now. Yes, they were absolute rubbish calls. Rubbish with a capital R. I know Adam O'Brien defended the Tom Starling one where I can't remember who the player was that ran in, stopped in the defensive line, and they deemed, Phoenix basically stopped chasing. I don't get that. How many times, regardless of if he has deemed the player stopped, which I don't know how you fucking rule on anyways, you're not in the player's head. How do you know what he's literally not sitting on the ground fucking, with his thumb in his ass. You don't know that. You cannot have a defender stop at the defensive line. That's it. I don't understand. I don't know how you can rule on the intent of the defending player. To me, that was fucking ludicrous. That should not have been a try.
I rewatched the game today with you lined it up, and that definitely rattled you, didn't it?
Oh, it was bullshit. It's every for the last how many years they've been clamping down on obstruction and attacking players, just stopping in the defensive line. It's always been a penalty. Always. None of this, oh, well, no, the player stopped. That's fucking irrelevant to me. And I'm sure I've seen plenty of other times. It doesn't matter. Even if common sense prevailed, I know we're all sitting there going, even if common sense prevailed and they go, look, that defender wouldn't have made it to him anyways. It doesn't matter. They still pull it up. So I don't get that. That was the wrong call. I completely disagree with Adam O'Brien. I think that was a shit call. I was so surprised. I was surprised Adam O'Brien. I thought he was going to go double barrel on their ass on the bunker on that one. I thought we got gypped big time on that one. And the other one, Noah Miles running into the outside shoulder of Jack Cogger. That one was even worse. That is always a penalty. You can't do it. You got to run a clean line. You can't obstruct anyone. And he literally just bangs into the guy. Like, Cogs is turning to try and get to Timoko, and fucking Noah Miles is just run into him. Like, what are we doing? Both of them just shit calls. Absolute shit calls.
Christopher said they reckon there is no bias towards the bottom teams. This game proves it.
Oh, well, what was the other one too? There was another really shit call. Oh, it escapes me. There was another one, Battlers, that was really contentious, I felt. I don't think, unless I'm not thinking of the Warriors game with the Jackson Hastings not being square at marker. That one was bullshit too. But I swear there was another one. Didn't have huge consequences in the game. It was another one. I was like, what are we doing? Yeah, but unfortunately, mate, bunker and consistency are just two words that'll never be used in the same sentence. Like, let's be real. When we come into round one next year, God knows what they're going to be clamping down on. And then, in a month or two, it won't matter. They just come down hard on some random thing in the game, and then by the end of the year, you see it everywhere. It's just out of people's minds. But anyways, that's my rant on the bunker. We don't do it often on this show. We don't usually go too hard on the refs and that, but geez, that were two shit calls. Terrible calls.
Noah's asked, heard a rumor the Storm was sniffing around Cooper Votano. Have you heard anything?
They got Cooper. They signed Cooper Votano. Yeah, we got Connor. But yeah, they managed to lure Cooper away from the Newcastle Knights. And look, to be honest, it was always going to be a tall order to try and keep him. A fullback. You got Fletcher Hunt at the club. You also got Kalen Ponga at the club. Fletcher Sharp, a fullback, who also played a lot of fullback. There's a lot of guys in front of him. Yeah, it's going to be a big ask. We still got Connor in the building. But yeah, the Storm always sniffing around there. It's a great system down there. I don't think young players really need to have their arms twisted too hard to go down there and get coached by Craig Bellamy. Is what it is there. Yeah.
Sorry. Carly's asked, do you see the Knights making another play for Pezzett if he activates his exit clause?
Nah. It's funny. I was just about to bring up Pezzett in that last question. Nah. I think we'll give him a wide berth. I'm sure he would be kicking himself because we offered him a really fucking good deal. But yeah, no way. With Dill Brown coming, Razor, that's the future for the club moving forward. Now they're going to be looking there. I guess these are the sliding door moments, aren't they, for rugby league players? But look, let's be honest, Jonas. There's going to be another couple of new teams coming to the club. There's a massive halve shortage. He'll find somewhere. If it's not with an established club now, you got Perth. Who knows? I think Perth are really gunning hard for Cam Munster. They'd be crazy, I suppose, thinking if I'm a recruitment guy for Perth going, well, maybe Cam and Pezzett. You got two guys who are in the same building in the Storm outfit. They can bring that culture across to a new club. You got young, like Ethan Strange and Fogarty. You can have a similar kind of deal with those guys to be the inaugural halves pairing at Perth. Who knows?
Sorry, I was multitasking then. Jenny's just said, Connor is a fullback, Cooper is a 5'8".
Oh, Cooper's a 5. Why did I say that? I thought they were both fullbacks. I swear I read they were both fullbacks. Interesting. Well, that would make more sense because they've got that, what's his name? His name escapes me at the moment. You got Pappy and, his name has escaped me. Anyways, they got another real gun. He's playing on the wing a bit now, but really, really good fullback also in the mix. And then, if Cam Munster's not getting any younger, he's not a spring chicken. They're obviously looking to secure Jerome Hughes long term, hence the Jonah Pezzett exit clause. You could see where they'd be looking to try and shore up a 5'8" spot with the young fella there. So that would make sense. I swore they were both fullbacks, but there. Appreciate the correction there, Jenny. There you go. I just did a Justin Timberlake.
Justin's asked, who do you hate more, Link, between the Broncos or Manly?
Oh, Broncos, mate. Broncos. Yeah, unequivocally the Broncos, dude. Do you know who I actually hate more too than I honestly think they are. I hate the Broncos for a myriad of reasons, but at least I can respect what the Broncos have done. Like I understand there's a great rivalry because we both came in '88, and the Broncos have achieved a lot. I don't take that away from them. They've had some great dynasties. They've had some great players and all the rest of it, a rich history. I understand that. And that's part of the reason why I hate them, but it's hatred born from a good place. A team that I hate that I have absolutely zero respect for is the Gold Coast Titans. I just think they're the biggest waste of a club. I think they're a joke. I don't think any coach, any player is ever going to thrive on the Gold Coast. I think there's a reason why it's a black hole for sporting organisations. No one wins anything on the Gold Coast. You go to the Gold Coast games, there's more away supporters than there are home supporters. They suck. If I'm Peter V'landys, I'm sending that fucking team down to Ipswich, or I'm sending them to the South Island of New Zealand. Mate, they're coming close. It's just because they annoy me. They annoy me. They came in. They got fucking Parramatta colours. Like, a brand new club shouldn't have fucking blue and yellow. Like, come on. There's 16 at that point. What was there? How many clubs? 15? 16. 15 clubs. There's 15 colour combinations, and you couldn't come up with a different one. Come on. But yeah. And then, I don't know. It's just, they've been around for so long, dude. They're staring down nearly 20 years in the competition, and what have they won? Fucking one finals game or something? Like, I know we've had, it's been a while since we've had our glory days, but look, no one will ever can say about Newcastle. We've got the best supporter base. Rain, hail, shine, we turn up. We live and breathe rugby league football. We've produced the greatest rugby league footballer that ever graced the planet. We've won the greatest grand final that will ever be played. We beat statistically the greatest rugby league team on paper in the 2001 grand final. Underdogs in both those, won them. Great history. We've got our place in the game. I think in the greater rugby league community, Newcastle Knights supporters are beloved. I don't think there's too many people that don't like Knights supporters. I feel like we're one of the clubs people like. You go around Magic Round, trust me. Magic Round's a really good gauge. It's a really good gauge if you're and I feel like and you'll probably agree with this, Lou. Hey, Knight supporters are kind of like everyone's mate. They're not that one guy where, if you're a Rooster supporter, you can be maligned. You either love or you hate them. There's sort of no middle ground with a Rooster supporter or a fucking Bronco supporter.
Not a random South supporter.
Yeah, I feel like we're a bit like the Wars. I think the Wars are definitely the cool guys. They're the fucking cool kids. I think you go to Magic Round, they are the fucking cool kids. But I feel like we can hang with the Wars boys. There's a bit of a mutual respect thing there.
After last week.
Yeah. I'm going a long way for PR relations between the Wars supporters and the Knights. I'm fighting the good fight. I'm bridging this fucking community big time with my platform. But yeah, the Titans are climbing up there for me just because they fucking annoy me. They're just a fucking complete and utter basket case. It's just a graveyard for bloody coaches and players. It annoys me so much when you see great players sign there and you just know they're not going to do anything. They're not going to flourish. How many times, Tanner Boyd's a great example. These great players that go there do fuck all, go backwards, and they get out of there, and then their career gets back on track, and they,
Would you say that they're the tumbleweed Titans?
The tumbleweed Titans, absolutely. Yeah, the Gold Coast just has no right to have any sporting organisation. I'm not an AFL guy, but I don't think the Suns have done fuck all since they've come in the comp, whenever it was 2011 or whenever it was they came in. You look at GWS, and they've already made a grand final since they came in, later than them. So, yeah, punt the fucking Titans, and I'd be sending that fucking fold that team and send it over to the South Island or bring it down to Ipswich. Give them a team. They'll fucking embrace it. They'll love it.
All right. On an end, good one from Jessie. And some good news. How great are our girls going, especially Southwell with her kicking?
Absolutely. 18 from 18. Jessie, a great comment from Jessie about Jessie. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely killing it, the girls there. Loving what I'm seeing. Yazzie just doing great things as captain. But both our captains have just been doing exactly what captains should be doing for their football teams, just epitomising what it means to be a Newcastle Knight, both of them. Absolutely incredible. So stoked for them. It's given us a glimmer of hope. We're going to get our third premiership there. All right, is that it? We're going to round it out there. Kicking goals with Jesse Southwell. All right, battlers, if you've enjoyed the live stream, if I made you feel a little bit better, maybe giving you something to look forward to, give it a big old thumbs up. Really does go a long, long way, truly. Wherever you're wasting your time on social media, make sure you look up The Knighted, like, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. We're on all social media platforms. If you're listening to the podcast thereafter, if you're in your car, safely pull over, okay, at your earliest convenience. This is your time. Leave us a 5-star review. I know there's still hundreds of you listeners out there that haven't done it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going all Newcastle MMA on your ass. Big old kick up the date. Get it done. Get it done. You'll feel better. All right. But yes, look, got the bye this week. I got a week off, so that's going to be much needed. And if we'll be coming back to you for the roster review show, looking ahead to our clash against the Penrith Panthers. Woo! What are we in for? Who knows? But you know what? Doesn't matter what comes, battlers. We're going to do it together. We're going to do it together right here next Tuesday. Look, enjoy your week. We're going to get the 2 points. That's something, right? Even if it's our last 2 points for the year, enjoy it. All right. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week off. Get your mind off the Knights. All right, battlers. I'm getting the Adam O'Brien out of here. I'll see you then.